All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to No Judgment here, the podcast. This is Tish Ross. I am your host. I want to thank everybody for coming in this evening and rejoining me and my guest that I have tonight, Jess Rowland from Tree Haven. He was here thank you. He was here last week on Monday. I can still hear you. I can still hear you. I can still hear it. He was here last week to share his story of loss and what I titled Devastation. And I don't think anybody would disagree if you listened last Monday of his enormity of loss is just unimaginable. And so if you missed the story or hearing Jess's story last week, hop on and check out part one. Tonight is part two. We're going to see how far this goes. And if we need to continue, we will next week. We're just Jess and I have discussed some things that we want to talk about that will hopefully help you guys, but we have to continue on and finish the story. So quickly, before I bring Jess in, I'm going to say hello to as many guests as I can. And then again, I will try. My focus is making sure that I can listen to Jess and hear him and ask questions and make sure that he's getting to use this platform to do what he is called to do, what he feels led to do. And so sometimes I don't always check the comments during my podcast. I will look at them afterwards or later. I will try to check them in during the middle, but if I don't, please know that it's not out of disrespect. It's actually out of respect for my guest. So I want to thank Marianne Bimler for coming in. Thank you, Marianne, for being here. Being Us Odyssey, thank you for coming in. Justin, Backroad Freedom, I appreciate you being here. Cheryl Guess, thanks for coming in. If you can share this out, please do so. I may repeat that again as more of the subscribers and listeners come in. Cora Phelps, thank you for coming in. Piggy's Piddles, thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Sean with Let's Trade Paint, thanks for being here. LaDonna, Kickapoo Crafty Cat, hello, ma'am. I hope you're doing well. And Melinda Dobson, thank you for being here. We're excited to continue on the rest of this story. Let's see. Brian at the Vineyard Farmhouse, thank you for being here. And I think I said hello to Marianne Bimler. Ken, Lone Cowboy Adventures, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here and for commenting, guys. I appreciate it. Full Blown Country, thanks for being here. Pooch. Karen Breast, hello. How are you this evening? Betty, I see you. You said that I am here. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you guys coming in and supporting Jess, as well as my podcast. I do appreciate that. Cheryl Guest, thank you for sharing. I appreciate you sharing. Dot Roper, hello. How are you, ma'am? And thank you, Brian, for sharing this out. I see that the comments continue on. I'm going to bring Jess in, and I'm going to do a quick recap once he comes in. I have a couple of questions for him that I'm sure that you guys are wanting to know some answers to out of concern and out of love. But I'm going to bring him in, and I'm going to do a quick recap. Okay. There he is.
Hey guys.
Hey, Jess.
How's
Welcome back
everybody doing?
in.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Of course. So I know that some questions had arose from you hopping off last week. And first and foremost, I'm going to quickly recap, and then I'm going to ask you the first question.
Okay.
So last week, if you were not here again, I see Nana 9 Acres is here. Thanks, guys, for being here. I appreciate you guys. Share this out if you can. So last week when Jess came on and started to share his story, or shared his story rather, Jess was sharing of loss of siblings and a stepdad. He lost his brother Cole when Cole was
Right.
3 years old, that he allegedly drowned. And then you lost your brother Jonathan after he came back home. He was in California living sort of the gangbanger lifestyle, and he came home or was sent home to Arkansas to live with you for a little while, got his own place,
Hmm.
was working, doing well. At one point, though, you did say that you felt like just knowing your brother and from observation, that you felt like he may have felt like he didn't really fit in because he was different. He was from California, and here he came and
Absolutely.
moved down to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then one day, he didn't show up for work, and you find out from your other brother, Michael, John's
Hmm.
brother, that he had come home, and Michael found him laying on the bed, and he was deceased.
Right.
And it is still not sure, because they didn't do autopsies or anything like that, whether it was a heart problem that he had had from since childhood, or what he died from, what the
Right.
causes of death were
Right.
from.
Right.
Um, and then you recover, or you grieve, and life continues on. And your stepdad, Pat, who was very active in your life, was due to come to your son Jonathan's one of his games, and he didn't make it, which was not like
Right.
him. But you felt like, well, maybe he maybe he had something else to do. You guys, your family had a big trip planned to go to Disney, a couple of week trip. Um, and so you guys went out of town the next day. You came back home. Um, Still no one had heard from Pat yet. Father's Day was Sunday, so you guys decided to, you guys meaning you, your wife, and your son,
Hmm.
had decided to go and take Pat gifts.
Sure. Yep.
Um, you go home. Pat's car is in the driveway. On your drive there, as you're getting there, you shared that you just had this sense, this feeling of something's not right.
Yeah. I had that
Um,
sense even when we were on vacation. You know what I
mm,
mean? Because I
yeah.
thought it was weird before we even left. You know, but
Yes.
we were leaving
Yes.
out the next morning. You really didn't think much about it. He's a grown man. You know,
Right. Right.
so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your recap, but yeah,
You're fine.
definitely had weird feeling for sure.
You get to the drive, his car's there, and one of the things that sort of stuck out in my head as I remember you sharing your story, which I value so much, is that you said his car was there and you wished it had not been there, that
Yeah,
maybe he had just gone on a trip or something, but it was
right.
there, and so the feeling became even more,
Yeah,
pretty positive what you thought you might find in the house. But
yeah,
no one is prepared to go inside a house and see what you saw.
no,
And you found your dad Pat, your stepdad Pat, and he was
right,
deceased. Um,
yeah,
you then have to tell Eli, Pat's son, that his dad had passed, and that was on Father's Day.
yeah,
And not too long after that, you get a knock in the door, middle of the night or early morning, and
yeah,
you're told that Eli had also passed.
right,
He was killed on the train tracks. And so we had left off sort of there. You had just had, really literally just had the memorial or celebration
yeah,
of life at your home for Pat.
right,
And then it was not too long after that then that Eli was found deceased. All
right,
this time, though, your other brother, Michael, is incarcerated.
right,
And
right.
so, if you missed this, all the details and things like that, you want to go back and listen to last week's show, because we're going to pick up where we left off. You find out that Eli was deceased. You find out that this wasn't the first time that he had done this, that
Right.
sometimes if he had a beer or two, that he might try to outrun the trains. And you also said that the train always wins.
Yeah, the train always wins.
Mhm.
Um, if you're ready for me to pick up, we'll
I
just
am
pick up
ready.
right there. Okay,
Yes, sir.
some of the story that I didn't get to the other night was Eli lived right next to the tracks. Okay, and he had a son. Okay, so I have a nephew
Mm,
from Eli, and he was 2 years old whenever Eli died. And he never really got to know his dad. He
mm,
doesn't really have any memories of him or anything like that. And you know, um, 10 years later, or not 10 years later, 8 years later. So his son is growing up without a dad. He's got some good aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas that are filling in and doing the best they can. And 8 years later, when he was 10, his mom took too many pills one night. She never woke up.
oh,
So my nephew, now he doesn't have a dad or a mom,
oh my gosh.
and so that's been hard. And some of y'all know who my mom is and stuff like that. She has she lives over there that way, and she has a special bond with him,
Mm,
and has really, between my mom and his his aunts on his mother's side really took him in, and
mm,
because they were her sisters,
right.
and they took him in and raised him. But my mom, he has his own bedroom at my mom's house and stuff like
Mm,
that, and he's there all the time. And also my mom is a school teacher at a private school at the church, and he goes to school there and stuff like that. So mom sees him and is very active in his life, and he's 15 years old now.
mm.
And so that's just been about 5 years ago that his mom died. And
Oh my gosh.
he, I mean, it seems like he is doing okay until I talked to my mom the other day. And I didn't really know this, but I guess he holds a lot of resentment
Mm,
towards his parents.
mhm.
And he won't talk about his mom or his dad. If my mom tries to talk to him or share a story or whatever, he doesn't really want to hear it. So, he's got stuff going on inside of him, like, why isn't my parents here? You know what I
Right.
mean? That
Absolutely.
that that like he has to cope with,
Mhm.
you know. And so that's kind of a sucky part of the whole story too. That's related to my brother passing away and stuff like that. But I just wanted to share that little bit of information too, because that part's just been hard for him, hard for everybody, hard for my mom. All the while, it's also my mom's son that died, and so there's
Absolutely.
just a lot of emotions and stuff dealing with all that.
And it changes the trajectory of people's lives.
Yeah,
The 15, your nephew. I mean,
absolutely.
I understand his
Yeah,
resentment,
yeah,
or I understand why he would have
yeah.
resentment. And I'm sorry to hear that about
Yeah, and
his
sometimes
mom.
when
I
you're
mean,
young too, it's hard dealing with emotions because,
right.
I mean, even adults have a hard time dealing with emotions, you know what I'm saying? But I think when you're that young, it's hard to understand all the why is this happening, you
That's
know?
right. And then as you grow
And
older, then
some
you
things,
start to mature a little bit and
some things you
start to
just
try
can't
to
really
ask, "And what in the
understand.
world?" Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So, then you have Eli's memorial.
yeah. We have Eli's Memorial. Um, I don't know if you guys ever heard that song by Miranda Lambert, "Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town." That kind of
Mm,
is a song that reminds me of my brother's funeral. I mean, there was
mm,
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there, and it was a really small town, but like everybody knew him. He was super popular, good-looking guy, and the funniest guy in the room. Um, and he's really missed, and
Mm.
so everybody came out for his funeral, and we had that memorial. It wasn't at my house; it was at a different place, but
Mm.
we did that, and my mom and my sister lived in Washington State whenever all this happened, and after that happened, that's when my mom and her moved back to Arkansas and have lived here ever since. So, um, that was just another thing super hard was Eli went and stayed with my mom in Washington for a little while and was just um a couple years before he had his son. He spent some time out there with her and
Mm.
just it was okay, but he was getting older and he didn't really want to stay out there. He wanted to get back to Arkansas where he was raised. And
Sure.
so, my mom wasn't around uh, when it happened. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And man, I still remember having to call my mom. You know, and I was in like so much shock because of what I went through with Pat. It was just like I was dealing with like bad dreams and just this. If anyone's had like not everybody luckily has had a sibling die or had real trauma like that in their life, but like if you have, you kind of know what I'm talking about is
Mm.
you have a weight on your chest, like it literally feels like a real weight. You know what I mean? I mean, my chest was just felt so weird and like um kind of having panic
Mhm.
attacks,
Mhm.
and all the while I was still trying to go to work, man, and just dealing with, I always worked in people's homes and stuff like that, just trying to deal with that and have a smile on my face, while I was trying to work on people's houses and not really telling them what all's going on, but then having to go take breaks out in my truck so I could cry for a little while, to try to help get over it. And, and then after Eli passed, that was only 3 weeks later. So, I mean, I hadn't even dealt with the first thing yet,
Right.
and then after that, it was just overwhelming for me, you
I
know?
can't even imagine.
Yeah,
I
it's a blur.
can't.
It is
I
honestly a
was
blur,
gonna
like, I don't even really remember it
mm,
hardly,
mhm.
like, I remember details, my friend who, was a police officer at the time and was also the same age as Eli and was a real good friend of mine and his, and we'd go fishing together and stuff like that. He happened to be a police officer,
Mm.
and icing on the cake, he's the one that actually found Eli, and then he was the one that came over to my house and told me that Eli had passed, but I already knew. Okay, my other buddy came over and told me first,
Right.
but then he had to come as representative of the police force, to let me know and everything because I was next to kin because his dad's already passed and my mom lives in Washington. So they came out to my house and I just remember him knocking on the door. And of course, he knew I already knew, but
Mhm.
he was trying to do his job. And,
Right.
this was a good friend of Eli's. They were like buddies and him trying to keep his mind straight, but like tell me at the same time without while he's doing his job,
Right.
looking back at the pain in his own eyes for his own friend dying, and then having to tell me it was like, man, thanks for coming, and I just remember him hugging me and uh, being there, you know,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
and then I really don't remember a whole lot. I mean, there was all kinds of people coming to the house and friends and family, but is honestly kind of a blur,
Mhm.
you know. And we got over that at the memorial, and so eventually, my brother got out of prison,
Mhm.
and
Your
there was
brother Michael.
my brother Michael. Yeah,
Mhm.
there was a long time where I didn't think he would ever make it out. Honestly, I mean,
'Cause he had been in there how
he'd
long?
been in and out since he was a kid, going
Mm,
through juvie. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And been in some really rough penitentiaries. Rough stuff. And I just wanted to say, I'm so happy for you. You know, looking into speaking and doing your thing in the penitentiaries and dealing with
Well
the incarcerated. And I really hope that you pursue that because there's a lot of people in there that need stuff like this.
well, Jess, I'm inspired. I was really genuinely so, for people that don't know, when Jess was talking about his brother Michael being in the penitentiary, specifically Chino, and I went on and did some YouTube research and um, was looking at some documentaries on that particular penitentiary, and man, oh man, I don't even um,
Scary
you
place.
couldn't pay me to go in there. I thought,
Yeah.
and then because of you, Jess, quite literally because of you sharing, you never know what people are going to take from people sharing their story, and that's why I just feel like I'm on a mission of people to share, because I sound like a broken record, but somebody somewhere is waiting for you to share their story because you never know what they're going to take from it. And so, because of
Right.
Jess sharing, I reached out to a friend the next day and asked him about trying to get into some prisons, because I want to go and, you know, when I say my podcast is for everyone, it is for everyone. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you've done, it doesn't matter what you've not done, it doesn't matter what lifestyle you've led, it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, fat, skinny, it doesn't matter what color you are, what religion, nothing matters. We are all human beings. And so he's going to help me. I'm getting ready to start a course so that I can get into some of the penitentiaries and prisons. Actually, some of the prisons here in Texas. I believe there's one in Houston, and then some others. But I just know that it was all a part of, Jess, you're a little part of God's plan for me. Quite honestly, because I had again tossed that idea around. You shared your story and it just kicked it in. And then I was able to connect with this one person. It took one phone call to one man. And he was like, I got you. Let's go. Let's do it.
There
So
you
we're going to
go.
go in September. So you see that, Jess?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, it
awesome.
is, thank you. I thank you
Well,
for
I'm just
sharing.
sharing my story. You know what I mean? But that's awesome. That's
Thank you.
incredible.
Well, it's
Um,
that thanks to you.
my the good news. Okay, if y'all want to hear any good news, is my brother got out of prison
Mhm.
and he was in for a long time. And I had high hopes. He got a lot of schooling while he was in there. He got a lot of trade while he was in there, and he's doing a whole lot of good right now.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. I'd love for you to meet him someday. He's got
I
a
would love to
list.
meet him.
He's got a list like this long. I was like, Mikey, send me a list of all the stuff you're involved in. And I mean, it was like huge. He goes to college at San Diego State University,
Mm,
um, Aztecs. He's a big part of that school. He's also a machinist. He also got married and has a couple of stepkids. He went through all of his parole stuff and got all that done without any problems and is completely off of parole, is completely free man, doesn't have any, you know, pretty much wiped clean.
mhm.
And he's also a public speaker now. So
Wow.
he leads some outreaches.
Mhm.
And some good news I just learned about a month ago was he's heading up a program for San Diego State, and they've asked him to be the coordinator for it and the spokesman for it and everything like that. And it's basically reaching out to troubled youths
Yes.
and being mentor and people and somebody that would go speak to them and things like that. And he's just living a great life. And
That's
it
amazing.
is.
He'll have
It's
to come on
really
the show sometime and tell
yeah.
his
It's
story.
he would love to, and he does this stuff like here all the time.
Mhm.
I asked him. I said, because public speaking's, as a lot of you guys know, is like my third worst fear. And I just called him one day. I was like, Mikey, I said, how do you how do you do this, man? How do you talk in front of a bunch of people? And he said, man, I've been doing this for a long time. He was even doing it like in prison and stuff like that.
Wow.
He was trying to set himself up while he was in prison to be successful when he got out, and that's good news because
That is very good
people
news.
people need people like him too, because in that atmosphere that he grew up in, those little kids that are getting in trouble right now can relate to somebody like Mikey.
Mhm.
Whenever he's sitting up there talking to them and he looks like them and he's got the tattoos and the talks the same language that they talk, you know what I mean? And
Right.
we need more people like that too. And I'm just really happy because you never know when somebody spends a long time in prison. There's a thing called institutionalized, and a lot of people
Mhm.
think once you're institutionalized, you can never really succeed in public once you get out.
Right.
And but some people can,
Right.
and it's just a real blessing that things didn't go the other way, and
Absolutely.
because a lot of people do more crimes while they're in prison and get more time added on or stab
Mhm.
somebody or just be
Yeah.
involved in. And he spent some really hard time. I mean, he spent, I think, at one point in time over a month in the hole. And
Mm.
so, I mean, he spent some hard times, and that was whenever there was like big prison riots and stuff like
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
and they put everybody on lockdown. And if you're kind of in the middle of the scuffle, they'll handpick people to make examples of and stick you in the hole.
Mhm.
And when I say in the hole, I'm talking about 8 by 10, or I mean 4 or 6 feet wide by 10, completely dark in the hole.
Mm.
And I can't imagine how that could warp your
Oh
brain
my
and
gosh.
and
Exactly.
just how to keep all that together to where you can come out from it. And Mike feels like he's making up for lost time. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like that's how he explained it to me. So like he's just involved with so many things. If somebody wants him to go do something, he's a yes man. And just trying to do what he can to be a productive member of society and use his life experiences like I want to do with mine to help other people. And
Exactly. It's a
you know,
purpose-filled life. I mean,
it's a
he has purpose
purpose-filled
in his
life, and
life.
it's a calling.
Yes.
And if you got something to say, and even if anybody's listening now or listening back on the replay, if you have a story that you don't share because it's too hard, but there's something deep down inside of you that kind of has always made you feel like you need to share it.
Mhm.
That's the thing telling you that you need to share it, but there's a fear that comes along with doing that.
Right.
And you can get over the fear. You
You
can.
absolutely
Yeah,
can.
you
And
can get
and
over
I
it.
think that, you know, exactly as you stated, that if there is something, a twinge, if there's something within you that is telling you, "I want to," but there's a fear. I think that fear also comes from, for me, I'll speak for myself, but that fear comes from, shame, embarrassment, guilt, or what people might think about me. But I'm gonna tell you this, like I said, in one of my videos, is everybody has a story. Every single person has a story, and it doesn't matter. I mean, we're human beings. We are not
Right.
perfect. We were all teenagers once. We were all in our 20s once. We've all made mistakes. We've all done well. We've done some good. We've done some bad. And I think if we can move past, for myself, I moved past what I was worried about, and what I was worried about was, what are people gonna think about me? Well, like everybody hears their mother say, well, if they think anything bad about you, then they're not your friends to begin with. So, I mean, that kind of goes even as an adult. If people
Right.
are shaming you or saying things to be ugly or to make you feel bad, that's just a reflection on them. It has nothing to do with you. So
Right.
I encourage you, even if you speak to somebody, tell somebody your story. I think that that's such a great idea. But I'm going to move back to one thing that you said, Jess, and then I want to talk about um, your grief, and then we want to move into some really good stuff. So, but one thing that you said is that you said not only last Monday, but you also said on your very first video that, and you said it again today, that
You
one of your
actually
fears.
watched my first video?
I did. I've
That's
watched several of your
that's
videos.
amazing. I don't recommend anybody do that unless you wanna just go see how bad it was and
No,
and get a little laugh. Because I mean, you can tell I mean, I did not know what to say. I'm just like, "What am I
it
gonna do?"
it was
You
greatness.
know?
It was greatness, and I
Oh,
love that
was
you
it?
were so
It
honest
was
and said, one of my fears is public speaking, but Um, I had a friend message me, Monday after you did speak, and they said that, man, that man, I mean, everything that he's been through, he is such a good storyteller. Like, he needs to be doing something like public speaking.
Thank you.
And, she had mentioned that everything that you said obviously was truth, but she said there are a lot of people that can throw in what did she say? Take you on unnecessary curves, that you were very much to the point, that you were very, she said that you were very captivating, that you held her captive, that she never just thought, okay, so yeah, I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to share that with you
Yeah, thank
and
you.
tell you that it's funny that you say that, but you would never know that it's one of your fears to speak to
Well,
a group of
I've
people that you
always
don't
been a
know.
storyteller, and, ever since I was little, I've enjoyed telling stories and making up stories and writing stories and, I wanna write books and things like that, and so that's definitely something that I've definitely interested have been interested in my whole life, and, with the events that's happened, it's like this love of storytelling has a more bigger purpose than what I would have ever thought it
Mm,
would
mhm,
have. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I want to go around and talk about this stuff all day long, but because it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you and everybody else on here. Like last Monday was freaking hard for me.
mhm, mhm.
And I really felt the effects after we were done. You
Right.
know, like I was just like, I can't believe I said all that stuff, and then I couldn't really remember what I said, and I'm like, I wonder if I said did this right, or was I rambling, or did I, because it's hard.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's easy,
Right.
but um, I've always known that I needed to get over my fear of public speaking because there's something bigger that I need to be doing.
Mm,
And if I can get over that fear, then punch it in the face, and then I can move on to something else, and then I can move it on to something else. But
right.
um, it's a real, it's a real fear for me, and I knew that starting a YouTube channel and sticking a camera in my face would help me to get over that fear. And after however many videos I've done, it's slowly helped, and I
Mm,
think that you know just if you have a fear, and I guess I'm talking to everybody right now, if you have a fear and we don't necessarily know inside why we're specifically scared of something. Some
mm.
people are scared of spiders. Some people are scared of public speaking or the fear of flying or whatever.
Right.
It's just something that you have that says I'm scared of that, or you've been taught. I've heard it said before that we're only born with two fears. Do you know what they are, Tish? This is what they're the fear of falling and the
Mm,
fear of loud noises. That's what you are born with as a baby. That's why babies shake whenever they hear a loud noise, but like
right.
everything else, like if you're scared of spiders, is because somehow you've learned that at some point down the road. So I feel like you can get over it. There's really no reason for me to be scared of public speaking.
Right.
I mean, what's going to happen? Like someone's going to heckle me or something? I mean, they want to heckle me, I'd probably heckle you right back, you know? So,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's when you really just look at the fear and you look at it in the face and you're like, I really I really don't have a reason to be scared of this thing that's perfectly safe to do or whatever. And especially my story, I'm not worried about people making fun of me or
Right.
thinking less of me or anything like that. I needed to say it, and I needed to do the YouTube, and I needed to make the videos. And to kind of circle back on the point I was trying to get at was, if you have a fear, you don't have to get over it in by doing one thing. Okay,
Right.
you can get over it and make a point to get over it, but you can take baby steps to get over it. You can take baby steps to get over that fear. And that's
Absolutely.
what I knew on the public speaking, was that if I took the steps doing the YouTube and making videos and trying to tell stories better and showing, speaking to the camera and all that kind of stuff, because that was the one thing that could probably help me to get over this fear. And it actually worked, but it took a long time. I mean, we've been about a year and a half now on YouTube as far as the
Hmm.
Tree Haven channel, and it's really helped out a lot. And if any of you guys have a fear of telling your story and stuff like that, just take steps to kind of do a little bit, do a little bit more. Like speak in front of a couple, 5 people, or 10 people, or then finally you can speak in front of a whole bunch of people. And
Absolutely.
I don't know how many people's in here, but when we make videos for YouTube, I mean, we're essentially speaking to the world, because you don't know who it'll affect, you don't know who will be watching it years down the road. And I just want to get as good as I possibly can at doing it, and being a compelling storyteller, but also be able to help people along the way. If there's something about my story that resonates with somebody else and that helps them to get over some kind of a hump, then
Mhm.
I guess the my story was part of a calling, that's part of a purpose, that's part of a process for me and the other person. Does that make sense?
Total
And that's
sense.
all I really want it to be, you know, is
So just let me ask you this. So for people that are watching and who lose someone very close to them or special to them, whether it's a family member or a friend or whatnot, you're one positive person, and I've noticed in the comments, not even just today, but also last Monday, is how do you, after so much loss, how do you remain so positive? How do you do that? What was your grieving process like? Did you get counseling? What did that look like for you healing?
no, I did not get counseling. Um, once That's a really good question, and I've thought of this answer before. I don't have a really good answer, but I'll explain it to you the best way that I can, because that's a question a lot of people want to know,
Mhm.
you know. And so I think it's an important question, and I will answer it the best I can. Once I got over the initial shock,
Mhm.
you know, I guess my mom says it best. We talked about it just the other day, and the saying, "Get busy living or get busy dying." I mean, you get up and you put your pants on. Not trying to be cliche, but you what helped me get over it, I think, was, and I'm not over it, but what helped me get through it, you know what I
Sure.
mean,
Mhm.
is an overwhelming, um feeling to lead by example. I have kids, wife, people that depend on me. I've got a wife and uh, 3 kids, stepdaughter, grandson, all kinds of people that depend on me. And it really does help me. Um, Also, I work a lot. I work a lot. And I don't want to leave that out because that is a thing. And I get consumed with what I'm doing, as far as working out of the land, working here, working on my jobs for clients and things like that. I work a lot. I don't work ridiculous. I used to. I used to work a lot more hours, but um, that really helps me. Is I don't grovel in the grief. I
Mhm.
don't. I don't
Mhm.
allow. I don't really allow myself. I mean, there's times where I'm having a really bad day and I'm sad,
Sure. Mhm.
but I always try to pick myself up and gather myself and talk to my brother Eli if I'm missing him, while I go mow the grass, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
and that helps me. It does. And I talk to him a lot whenever I'm out on the land
Mm.
working.
Mhm.
It helps. Um, you know, uh, we got a real special place, and I talk to my brother, and it helps. And I
Mhm.
ask him questions. Excuse me. I'm
It's okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I ask him questions. Like before I start filming, um, I'll go sit down there in the woods on the rock, cross rock, and ask him questions. Or hey, I'm here. I'm back. Let him know I'm here, and tell him what I'm thinking the video is about today, and if that sounds good, or if that's stupid, or should I say that? Because my brother, whenever I say he was the funniest person in the room, I mean he really was. He was
Mm.
hilarious,
Mm. Mm.
and I do a lot of crazy little quirky things in my videos, and not always, but I do because I'm just if I think of something that I think's funny, might even be coming from a different place. I don't know. I'll just do it,
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But I like to have fun, and Eli always liked to have fun.
Mm.
He did, and me too. And so I always try to put that first and foremost. I basically made a vow whenever I started the channel that my channel was not gonna it wasn't gonna be a drama channel,
Mhm.
and there were certain things I wasn't gonna allow to be on there, and because I didn't want people to think of my channel and think of he's just dramatic or I don't like the way his views on this or his views on that, and so I just make my videos be what they are, be fun, and just show the process of the work.
Right.
And
Mhm.
the work is first and foremost. Um, and so I guess the answer on how I've done it is maybe there maybe some divine intervention too because I have a story. Now I haven't always felt that way, but
Mhm.
like the more that I do this, the more that I'm kind of starting to realize what I've known for a long time, and the whole public speaking thing is that I need to share the story. So that's helped me too through the process of you don't like I'll never get over it.
Right.
Like they say time heals all wounds, but it really doesn't. I mean, it
Right.
does it doesn't make it go away. What, like every time I hear that, I'm like, really? I mean, like who wrote that? that saying because I would like want to meet that dude or
Mhm.
woman, and I'm like, it doesn't heal it and make it go away. It makes it easier to cope.
Right.
That's it. That's all that happens. Like it's easier today than it was 14 years ago on the day my brother died. Like he died
Oh, no. Just froze.
easier.
Okay.
It's easier today than it was 14 years ago. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna lie, it's easier, but it doesn't heal it. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about all this stuff. It's like you can't, it just pops in your head and
Of
I
course.
think
Of
about it,
course.
but like just trying to cope with it and keep my brain occupied and uh, think about a higher purpose,
Mhm.
for life and how to turn a negative into a positive, how to make something good out of it. And the only way I can really make something good out of it is by helping other people. That's it. I mean, I guess I could help myself, but until I help other people and affect other people's lives by whether being a shoulder for them to cry on, I think I told you in the last week, one of my good videographer friends, I mean, I was one of the first people that he called when his brother died,
Mhm.
and he came here to the house and sat out back for a couple hours and just talking about his brother
Mm.
and crying and being a safe place for people like that, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think too, Jess, because
Yeah.
you, so yes, I can see as you're sharing your story, there is a lot of purpose. There's a lot of purpose, and it's going to sound cliche as well, but it's the truth. There's a lot of purpose behind the pain.
Yeah.
And if you can, we can, whoever's listening can seek whatever help looks like for them, because we're not doctors and we don't have the answers. Some people therapy is the thing, some people it's
Yeah.
not. But I think when in all things, I believe that when you allow yourself to feel the feelings in the moment that you're feeling sad, I need to go to my truck and just cry for a minute. I need to get this out so that I can go back into life, because life doesn't
Yeah.
stop just because we lose our loved ones.
No, it doesn't
And
stop, and kind of realizing that and realize, the electric bill is still going to be due next month. Like
that's right.
you still have obligations, but I will say that there are some people that can get over things better than others. And that's a fact. And some people can handle things better, and some people get thrown bigger things in life and can get through it, and some people have a harder time.
Mhm.
And maybe I'm one of the people that can get over it better,
I think so. I
you know.
believe that for me, I feel
But
like you
I don't ever
are
think about that in the moment. You're not thinking that, you know
but
what I mean? But as you reflect years later, maybe I'm one of those people, and maybe I have stuff to give back, and maybe I can help other people. And I think it's all part of a greater and a bigger plan.
it is. It most definitely is. I mean, yeah, I think, everyone is a chosen warrior, and whatever, um, pain or goodness that you've experienced in your life, there's a purpose behind it, and if we keep it to ourselves, what good is it?
That's
So
what I
I
was
wanna
saying.
ask you this, um, one thing that you said is I've actually gone through and watched several of your videos. Something that you said is that you are not a videographer, but that you are, a better photographer. Now, this was in your first video. You're a better photographer than you were or are. You don't
Right.
even call yourself a videographer.
No.
But I feel like, Jess, that, you have many gifts. You have many gifts, and yes, while video and videographer or, photography, those are things that people can, learn to do, well, the best of their ability. I believe that some people have a gift in terms of their eye. You have a gift,
Thank you.
of putting together your videos, and so, they're incredible, and I hope someday to see some of your actual photography. I would love to see some of that. And then there was something else.
I will tell you this, Tish. I don't know if you have. Do you have any moderators in here right now?
I do.
They can share a link to my Instagram that has all of my photography. I was doing it real big before I started the channel,
Hmm.
but once I started the channel, I just got consumed with making video and being the best videographer that I could and being the best storyteller that I could. But uh, the my Instagram is shots by Jess, and
Excellent.
I used to be pretty heavy on doing the Instagram. I I gave up on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really mess with it anymore. But
But we can check out your photography
yeah,
there.
you can check it
Cool.
out. There's a lot. There's tons of it on there. So
Awesome.
thank you. Yeah.
And you had also mentioned that this loss has really compelled you, or is what really got you started into YouTube. That losing family members is really kind of what started your YouTube channel. Um, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, um, I've always loved YouTube, and you know, I did want to start a channel. I've messed around with YouTube even before Tree Haven, but just doing how-to videos.
Mm.
But um, from that very first video, I knew that I wanted to try to get over a fear of public speaking. And I'm not saying
Mhm.
that's what my whole channel's about. And that might sound kind of weird, but it's part of it. I do YouTube for a lot of different reasons. I love making videos.
Mm.
I do. I've wanted to make videos since I was a little kid. Always wanted to make movies and stuff like that,
Mm.
and documentary films as I've gotten older. And
Mhm.
it's definitely a passion for me. It's something that I'm going to pursue and move on, and tell stories through video, um, and video medium, and it's something I'm really interested in. And I think for me, it all kind of goes together. You know what I mean? The better I get at making video, the better I get at telling stories, the more people that could see it, or the more people I can reach. YouTube is just a great platform. Um, Look, we're on it right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I was thinking about this week. I mean, look at your channel. Tish, you just went over 2,000 subs,
Mm.
right?
Did.
And if you weren't on YouTube, there's a real good chance we wouldn't even know each other.
You're
Which
right.
it's given me the opportunity to speak and to share, and look at the community. Look at the people that have reached out to you. Look at the people that have reached out to me,
Hmm.
that have
Hmm.
said we're here. Love you,
Hmm.
and telling part of telling me their story, or
Hmm.
something like that. And it's happened because of YouTube, you know,
Right.
and it sounds crazy, but YouTube literally has changed my life,
Mm.
you know, and I don't even make no money, like I don't even make any money,
Same. Yeah.
but
Hmm.
it's changed my life into the fact that I have a platform,
Hmm.
you know, and I mean, I guess I could kind of do this on Facebook or whatever, but it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same. I want to make movies. I want to make videos. I want to make films and things like that. And it's a place for me to do that. It's a place for me to get better at learning how to tell stories. It's a place for me to share my own stories. It's a place for me to stick a camera in my face and get over fear of public speaking. And the list goes on and on. I mean, it's a lot of different things for me.
And
And
by you having your YouTube channel and by you sharing your story, like I said, it's impacted people. You never know what little bits and pieces people are going to take from it that motivate and encourage, as it did me. You also learn a lot about people once you get to know, um, or introduced to someone or be an acquaintance to someone. And one thing that I know about you is, that you're very giving, and I, got to sit in on and even watched back some of your, live editing sessions. So if anybody here is, you watch, Jess's videos, I know I have, and I thought, "Man, that's good." That is just kind of how you move from one scene to the next. It's very intentional, and your live editing sessions are really great educational tools for people that may want to kind of get an idea of how do you do that. So I appreciate you sharing that, and I appreciate you sharing your family with us. The fact that your mom Marilyn, who I had just an instant connection with her. She's such a lovely person, but she's really good at golf, and
She is,
I got to
yeah.
see that and wondered if her chicken coop ever took off.
Yeah,
Did
well, we still gotta get that thing done. It hasn't took off yet, you know what I'm saying? But, it's going to. It's good. Sure, chicken coop's gonna happen, I promise. We're gonna make a big video about it too.
well, I'm excited. I've also learned new names for rocks, that there's some rocks that, are called, leverites and leverites or leverites. I learned
Leave her
some.
leave her
Yeah.
right. Yeah, leave her
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Leave
Yeah,
her right there.
Orville is a great teacher, and
Dude,
so and if you
that
don't
dude's
know what I'm
hilarious.
talking about,
That
you've
video's old, Tish.
I'm telling you, I do my research. You've
Yeah,
got to
you
go
do.
back and check out some of Jess's videos. They are all just extremely, to me, and I'm sure that anyone that's listening now, since you've shared a big part of yourself, a big part of who you are, um, now that you have done that, um, it makes me extremely excited to go back and watch some of your videos to see how you, um, have grown, and, there's some great video, and even one thing, it was the very first video, and I died laughing. Your lovely wife, Crystal, was getting ready to come to the land, and she called you, and she texted you, and you're texting her back, and you said, "Heart, heart, kissy face," and just
Yeah.
you were texting back. I
I
mean,
forget
you
stuff
guys
like
really need
that.
to go and check out Jess's video, and, um, you've just got great stories. You've got a great gift. You're a great storyteller. You are a great videographer, whether you wanna call yourself that or not. It's
I'm
really
getting
good
I'm
stuff.
getting better, you know. I'm getting better. I've got a lot of videos under my belt now, so I'm just trying to get better all the time. You know what I mean? I just try to get better every single time.
Well, you're doing
So
great, and let me ask you
thank
this
you.
question, Jess.
Yeah.
Um, what are some of your final thoughts that you want to share with people before we wrap up?
Um, Loss of a loved one is never easy. Um, People grieve in different ways. There's not a wrong way to grieve. You know, a lot of times people criticize other people for how they grieve. I don't do that.
Mhm.
Um, there are people that are there for you. You also need to understand that a lot of times people don't know what to say.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to share a little bit to get other people to open up.
Yes.
And I think you'll find that if you just open up, tell a little bit of your story, you don't even have to spill all the beans. People will just come to you and feel compelled to tell their story to
Mhm.
you. And I think it's just like that too in the real world. I mean, if I had a story about getting chased by a bear, I mean, someone else is going to have a story about getting chased by a bear too. I mean,
Yes.
it's just life's kind of like that. And it works that way when you're trying to work through sadness and grief too. And, um, and to just it's hard to tell someone not to be depressed, you know?
Mm. Mhm.
A lot of people have asked me if I went through depression, during that time, stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I mean, not depression where like you can't get out of bed for weeks. I never went
Mhm.
through that. I always got out of bed. I always felt like I needed to be somewhere and I needed to do something and I needed to accomplish something and I needed to keep my mind occupied. But that doesn't mean that, when I'm driving down the road, I'm not uh, you know, sad or trying to gather myself up before I have to be somewhere. I mean, I went through that stuff for a long time, but I gathered myself up and I went in and did my job and presented myself the way I needed to and got through the day and then started having some good days. And over time, you can have a lot of good days. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
I did go through a lot of anxiety. I think I shared on the last show about what's going to happen next. I mean, I went through that bad. Like, who's going to die next? I
Yes.
was just
Yes.
expecting every single phone call. Someone died. Like I did go through that a lot. And if you're going through that, um, that's hard to get over. But
Mhm.
because it's like you're just expecting the worst to happen all the freaking time. And so y- it took me a while to get over that, but I did. I after a while I'm like, you know what? No one's died lately, and maybe no one's going to.
Mm.
And I'm not going to worry about that anymore.
Right.
And it was kind of like the fear thing. I feel like we allow ourselves um you know um to be fearful of things, because it's easier to be scared of a spider than it is to get over the fear of being scared of a spider. It's just easier to run away and scream and tell somebody else to go kill it.
Right.
It's easy, but like if you ask the person like how many times have you been bit by a spider, like what happened to you, most people are going to say, well, never. And why are you so scared of spiders? It's kind of like it. I mean, I guess that doesn't really have to do with my fear of public speaking, but it kind of
No,
does
but
a
that
little
makes
bit.
sense. Yeah.
It kind of does a little bit because, like, if someone asks me the same question, like, "Why are you scared of public speaking?" Like, what do you think they're going to do? Is like, are they going to make fun of you and blah 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 blah? And I'm just like, no, not really. Nothing's really going to happen. So what's the problem? You know.
Right.
So just like when I say like face fear in the face, and punch it, literally that's what I'm trying to do, and I think anybody can do it, um, no matter what it is, and I'm going to continue to, you know fear of public speaking is my third worst fear. I'm going to continue to just try to get over any fear I have in my life. I'm going to try to get over it no matter what it is.
Well,
And
you've done well, my
because
friend, in
well,
terms of
thank you.
speaking.
Thank
You
you.
know,
I just don't want to live in fear. Fear
mhm.
can be crippling for
And I
some
think a lot of
people.
times that people think, because I know when I did my very, very first live, that um, one of my life coaches years ago said that fear of the unknown is crippling
Mhm.
because people, some of the things that people are fearful of never even happen. So kind
Right.
of like you said, the spider, you're going to ask somebody, how many times have you been bit by a spider? I'm like, oh, well, I never really have. Well, so the
Yeah.
fear of the unknown, going
Right.
live, speaking in public,
What's gonna happen?
um,
Yeah.
the unknown is, it's not even going to happen, and it's going to be okay.
It's
It
gonna be
really
okay.
is going to be okay.
Yeah,
You're
it's gonna
you're
be
going to be
okay. And
okay.
I think that comes to with 100% being okay with who you are as a person. And a
Mhm,
lot of people aren't okay with who they are as a person.
mhm,
And so a lot of people worry about what other people think.
mhm,
And I don't worry about what other people think. I'm completely am self-aware of who I am, my quirkiness, my weird little things I do, and I'm okay with who I am. So
mhm.
when you're okay with who you are, and especially as a YouTuber, okay, and this is a little bit of YouTube advice. Um, when you can put your whole self out there and just be yourself and you'll be cool. That was Eli's big saying that he used to say all the time. And I've talked about that on videos before.
I
He
love
used
that.
to always say, be yourself and you'll be cool. And
Mhm.
I always take it one step further, YouTubers, man. You're not going to be cool to everybody. Okay, you're not. You're going to be cool to some people, and those are the people you're looking for. Okay, we all have a YouTube circle, and I always tell people, don't worry about the people that aren't in your circle, and don't worry about the people that unsubscribe to you. When I
Mhm.
have someone unsubscribe to me, I thank God because they aren't meant to be in my YouTube circle.
That's
And
right.
when you're yourself, when you when you can put the camera in front of your face and say things exactly like you want to say them and mean it, and you're not being fake, and you're
Mhm.
not trying to do it for views or say the things that you think other people want to hear, you just say it the way that you say it.
Mhm.
It's absolutely liberating, because it's like a weight has lifted off of your shoulders.
It
And
is.
when
Mhm.
you do that, I get virtually no hate on my YouTube channel. I mean, none. You know what I mean? Like as far as
Mhm.
comments and stuff goes. And it's because I'm just who I am. And, people that want to be there and want to just see somebody authentic, um, they come to the right place,
Right.
and those are the people that are supposed to be there.
Right.
That's how I see it. Like anybody that's here right now, that's here with being Tish and experiencing life with us right now. And if you're watching on the replay too, and you're watching what me and her are talking about, like you were supposed to be here right now. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mhm.
just how I feel, and that's how I feel about YouTube. And the people that come to the channel, the people that subscribe, and the people that watch the videos, that's the tree tribe. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that are supposed to be in my YouTube circle. And I don't worry about the people that aren't, because they aren't supposed to be there anyways. And that's just the kind of the way that I look at it. And
I love that because that can be very, even for myself, subscribers have fallen off and then some or new subscribers come on, but that is a very positive again with I love your positive outlook, Jess,
yeah, I mean,
in that it helps you.
I don't look at it as a negative. I look at it like, oh, good. They weren't
I love
supposed to be
that.
here. They weren't supposed to be here. I mean, if you, I have a saying: if you're good to YouTube, YouTube will be good to you. If
Mm,
you make your videos and you show the work and you're authentic and you say things that are true
mhm.
and you put out as good a content as you can and you put it out regularly, good things are going to happen, especially if you're putting out good energy with that. You know what I mean? If you're putting out negative energy, if you're putting out negative vibes, if there's always some kind of drama all the time, like that's what you're going to get back. You know what I'm saying? So I
Absolutely.
just believe that be yourself and you'll be cool. Make the content, show the work, try to be as consistent as you can, be yourself, and the YouTube universe will smile on you and you will get back what you put out. You know what I mean?
That's
But
true.
if you're not putting nothing out, why are you expecting to get something back?
Mhm.
And if you're only putting out negativity, but then you're wondering, why am I getting all this negativity back? It's real easy just to, if you're one of those people that is like a kind of like a light, kind of like you are.
Okay.
If you're a light, and when people are around you, they gravitate towards you, they want to look you in the eye, they want to talk to you, they want to hug you, they know you're somebody that's important, that is there to listen or to
Mm,
help. And those are the vibes that you put out and the energy that you put out, Tish. That's what you're going to get back.
right.
And that's what I believe. And so that's what I try to do on YouTube. A lot of times it's just building a tiny house, but there's really no negativity.
It's
It's
good.
still
It
it's still
is
good stuff.
It
and
is all good
I'm just going to
stuff.
continue doing it. And as long as people are watching, and as long as people want to hear what I have to say, I'm just going to keep talking and keep making videos and just keep moving forward and keep being positive and try to help as many people as I can. Those are
Well,
my
I am
goals.
so grateful. And I know that everybody's that's listening in now that has joined us live, and those people that are going to watch the replay um, are just so grateful to you for sharing your story. It's almost from the darkness to the light, from tragedy to triumph. That is how I feel about your story. It's a hard story, but then it turns into a feel good story. Or hey, man, I can do this. And
You
I'm
can do it.
so
You know,
honored by
I've said
you.
that a lot of times in my videos too, even talking to younger people, is if I can do it, you can do it. You know, I'm not
Absolutely
doing anything that you can't, especially making videos. I'm not doing anything you can't look up another YouTube video and watch and learn how to do. You know
correct.
what I mean?
Same.
I'm completely self-taught on everything I do. And I really feel strong about that. It's like if I can do it, anybody can. It sounds cliche, but like I don't feel like I was born with a gift of making videos. Like
Mm,
nobody is. You
mhm,
learn
mhm,
how to do
mhm.
this stuff. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
You do. You learn how to do it.
So, Jess, before we hop off, and as I thank you so much for sharing your story, I know that that was difficult. I actually just received a text from someone who said, "I'm so grateful that that Jess shared his story. So awesome."
Thank you.
Um, in a sentence or a word or a sentence, um, oh, it was great to meet you guys. Thank you guys for all being here. Mickey, thank you for being here from Critter Creek. Ed's Crazy Adventure says people love both of us. Thank you so much.
Thank
Well, we
you.
love you
Yeah, thank
guys.
you. And
And
thank you to everybody in the chat too. Y'all know I ain't trying to read them all, but I do appreciate it.
absolutely. But in a word or a sentence, tell me this. I ask every one of my guests before we hop off, but tell me who is Jess Rowland today? Who are you today?
Happy. I mean, it's one
Mm,
of the happiest I've ever been, you know. Um,
I love
Family's
that.
good, life's good. I got dreams, hopes, and possibilities. I got dreams that are coming true for me,
Mm,
things that I never thought would ever be able to happen are happening. I never I always wanted land. I always wanted a place to stomp around on and build my stuff on, and I never thought it'd come true.
mm,
You know, I never thought we'd have it, and we don't have a lot of land, but we got just the right amount, and I got the amount that I'm supposed to have right now, and
you do.
I'm happy. Um, I don't dwell on the grief.
Mhm.
You know, I don't let myself get to where we all have bad days,
Right.
you
But you
know,
don't stay there.
but right, I don't stay there, and overall life is good, positive. I just want to be a positive light to other people, and that gives me self-worth, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
which is way more than money,
Man.
you know. And I think a lot of people value their life with monetary value,
Mhm.
and they want people to see them as somebody that look what I've made or look where I'm at financially.
And that's not
And
who they're meant to be. That's not who people are meant to be, and
no, and whenever I see that, I think you ain't doing it right,
right.
because that doesn't really help people. And I really want to just be somebody that anybody. I want to be approachable.
Mm,
You know, I guess is a good word. Is I want to be approachable if somebody has a question or needs an answer. If you got a question, I got an answer.
mm,
I'll be there. You know,
I love it.
I'll be there to help them. And I'm in a good place, and I'm just going to keep on moving forward and spreading some peace, love, positivity the best way I can.
I love it. I love it, Jess. And I love that your word is happy, because if anybody's listened to the beginning of this, of Jess's story, and again, if you haven't, go back and watch episode 1 of Jess at Tree Haven on my playlist. If you go back and you watch that, and then you hear Jess say who he is today, and the first word that comes out of his mouth is happy, exactly like one of the comments is, Jess, you're inspirational.
Thank you.
And you are, Jess, and I cannot thank you enough for
Thank you.
reaching out, coming out and um, sharing some of your purpose with us and my listeners, and definitely giving me hope, and a kick in the sort of the right direction in terms of going into the prison system. So I thank you for that. I thank you for all the
That's
good
gonna
that
be
you've done here
amazing.
today.
Yeah, that's gonna be
So
amazing. And
thank you, Jess.
I just want everybody to know that's listening to, and you guys on the replay too, please, please. I know we had a lot of replay watchers on the last video, and I just want to tell you
Mm,
guys that YouTube and the world needs more people like you, Tish.
oh,
Okay, there's not enough Tishes to go around. You know what I mean? And
thank
there's
you,
other
Jess.
people out there that's listening that can do the same thing Tish is doing,
Mhm, absolutely.
and you do it in your own way. But the nucleus of what Tish is doing is helping people,
Mm,
and the word help is in the center. And you're a bubble of light. You're a safe place,
mm,
which is the word. That's what the word haven means. That's why I picked that word for part of my YouTube channel name,
mm.
is a safe place. And I hope, Tish, I hope your channel grows huge, because you are great at what you do. Uh, we need more
Thank
people.
you.
We need more people like you. We need more people to step up, that says, I can do that, and I can impact, and I can make a difference, and I can help people. And I want to. People need to do it for themselves, because I know this helps you too.
Absolutely.
It's your calling,
Mhm,
and it's like, it's obvious to all of us that you're doing what you are supposed to be doing.
mm,
And when you are doing what you are supposed to be doing, you just do it so good. It's like you don't even, y- you can't mess it up, because you're helping people.
that's right.
And
Anybody that is doing what they are supposed to be doing, nobody else, other people can do, yes, podcasts and interviews and things like that. But when you are doing, um, for me, what God's purpose is, um, you're the person that needs to be there, or that has been placed in someone else's life for His purpose. There's a
that's right.
reason behind why you do what you do,
Right.
and nothing can mess that up if you're doing it and
Right.
you're all
And
natural. It's
right.
good
And
stuff.
I
So
just think I just think if more people, what I was talking about earlier, like if you ever, if you're listening and you feel like there's something knocking on your consciousness, and something you felt compelled to do for all these years, and you just never really done it, I just want to encourage anybody that's listening to just go for it. And when you put yourself out there and you're positive, good things are going to happen, and people are going to be drawn to you just like they are to Tish. And you know go see who needs to hear your story, and see who you can help. You know what I mean? And I wanted to close out with that, because um, this story is about helping other people,
yes,
and you have helped me tremendously. And if you weren't here, honestly, I probably wouldn't have even told any of this story, publicly. And it's because of
Just you're gonna make
you.
me start crying
No, but
because that's
I just want everybody to know it's because of you that I've done this. And then if my story helps somebody else, it's because of you doing what you were called to do, and you put yourself in the position, and you took the steps to make it happen. If you hadn't have took those steps, I wouldn't be here right now. And so I just want everybody to look at the big picture of how all this came together. It came together because you were willing to hear that little voice that said, "This is what I'm meant to do." And then you acted upon it. And there's what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of people that have that little voice, but
Mhm.
they have the fear and they never act upon it. And so those are the people that I want to reach right now, is just to say, man, just go for it. I know
Yes,
Tish would help you. I would help you. If you don't
absolutely.
know how to make videos, or you don't know what kind of microphone to get, there is help available. If you feel a calling to help other people, if you open your mouth, good things are going to happen to you. And that's the
Absolutely.
message that I want to spread around. And Tish, you deserve every accolade you have you've received and you have coming to you. And I want to see your channel explode, and I want everybody in the community to let's let's help Tish grow her
Mm,
channel, because channels that are doing good to help other people, we need more of those. We need more people and channels of people that are meant to touch other people's lives and to inspire people and to help other people, and to be somebody that they can listen to. And I just want to encourage anybody to do that and to reach out and to try to follow, try to pursue your own calling, is what I'm trying to say. Just
I
try to
love
pursue
that.
it.
That's true. And Jess, I thank you for all your kind words and everything that you have shared. And that is the one thing that is so true is that just like Jess said, if you do something that you are feeling the urge to do, there's a reason, there's a purpose for you to do that, because then it opens the door for someone else to do
Right.
something, and then it's going to open the door
Exactly.
for someone else. That's what it's all about. It's not
It's a
about
domino. It's like a
self.
domino effect of goodness. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
that's what we need in this world for sure. So,
Right.
Jess, I'm gonna leave at this and just tell you again, thank you so much for coming
Welcome.
on and for sharing
Thank
and
you for
for
having me.
doing so
Yeah.
much good here. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure, my honor indeed. So again, like Jess said, if you guys need any kind of direction, I know that he's willing to help you in any way that he can, as am I. I'm happy to help you and let you know all the things that I did, the mistakes that I've made, so that you don't have to go through those things. Just reach out to us and we're happy to help you. So I hope that everyone has a great rest of your week, and tune in next week. At first, I wasn't sure if Julie was going to be coming on, but Julie, gosh, I'm going to butcher her name. Is it McKismick, babe? Is from Heard That Outdoors. She is coming on and she has a story to share as well. So thank you
Great.
again, Jess. You guys go check out Jess at Tree Haven. And man, it's good stuff. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Jess. And you guys have a great
Peace
night.
out, guys. Love y'all. Thanks, Tish.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jess. You have a
Bye.
good night.